Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Auset-heru, and thank you for joining me for a wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to read two of my favorite comments from previous videos. Guys, I gotta tell you guys a story. And you know, I've never told anybody this story, ever. Not even my best friend. I never told this story because it makes me look awful. Quite frankly, this happened when I was 30 and I'm 43 now. So it's about 13 years ago. And this does not make me look good at all. I might have been 30. I was in my 30s, put it like that. And it does not make me look good at all. And the only reason why I'm telling this story is because while I was sitting there watching this video that I'm getting ready to tell you about, I heard Goddess say, tell your story. She tells me that all the time. And I'll be like, you got me out here in these streets looking crazy, Goddess. But it is what it is. You know, thy will be done. So this is what happened. While I was on vacation, a friend of mine sent me a video. Right after she sent the video, her husband sent me the same video. And I was like, this must be an interesting video because they both sent it. You know, when two people send the same video, it's like, this must be a good video. So I opened up the video and looked at it. And some of you guys probably saw the video too. Let me explain. It was a video, and when you first open it, you don't know what's going on, basically. All you see is a parking lot, and you see one car smashed into another car. You see another car parked diagonally about 10 feet away. You see a man laying stretched out. I think he was face down or on his back or something in the street. And you see people walking around. This one woman in a pink shirt screaming and riffing. And if you watch the video long enough, what you realize is that apparently this woman in the pink shirt has slammed her car into this man twice. They said she hit him twice. So she hit him, backed up, and hit him again. I think they said twice, so I guess she hit him and then backed up and maybe rolled over him again, something like that. As they said, she hit him 2 times and homeboy was just laying there. So when you see the video, this is all you see when it comes on. And then you hear her screaming. She's screaming about, she says she gave him 18 years of her life. And she's tired, and she's just, you could tell she's hurt, she's fed up, she's angry. You don't really know what happened. You just hear what she's saying, and you see him laying on the ground, and you hear the people talking about it. And the person who's recording is like, yeah, you know, she hit him with the car, and then the cops come, the ambulance comes. Like, you get to see the whole thing. And from what I understand, this happened last week in the South. Somebody told me Virginia, somebody else says South Carolina. So I'm not really sure where in the South, but it happened in the South. And this girl went on, it looked like Facebook Live with it. And they came and got him and took him. Now, I don't know what happened to him. Somebody told me he died. But at the end of the video, he was moving. So, because somebody had actually come out and put a sheet over him. They thought he was dead like I did. And he moved the sheet and was moving around. So somebody told me he passed away, but I haven't been able to confirm it. So when I first saw the video, the first thing that came across me was just dread, because I knew exactly where she was at. And I wasn't thinking it was his fault, it was her fault. I think it's both of their faults, because a lot of people ask me, whose fault was this? Apparently, she was with him for 18 years. He dogged her for 18 years. She got fed up and hit him with her car, and I think he might have died. So people are like, you know, the people that I talked about it were like, well, what do you think? Like, do you think that she was right? He was wrong? What do you think? And I'm like, first of all, I think they're both wrong. I think they're both dead wrong. And it hit me so deeply because I've been here myself. And this is the story I was telling you guys I never told anybody. I almost went to jail for murder one. I probably would have got either life or maybe the electric chair. I don't know. In my county, in my state, I don't know which one they do. But basically, I almost lost my freedom behind a very similar situation. And you guys know I used to deal with this guy, Voldemort. And Voldemort was awful in probably not every way that you can be awful, because he could have been worse, mind you. But he was just awful as far as being emotionally abusive, narcissistic, very deceptive, those kind of things. Draining, emotionally just draining. So at one point, I decided to kill him. And I didn't tell anybody this. You guys are the first people, but since he's still alive and no crime was actually committed, I can tell you guys the story. After he had, we had gone through these back and forths, and, he had played with my emotions, and I had finally, we had put each other through different things, and we had fought. He played on my phone, and I had to change my number. And I mean, we had went back and forth for a long time. And one day, I decided that he deserved to die, and that I was the person that was going to kill him. That was my decision. Looking back on it, I could understand why I made the decision, but I just think it was stupid. Looking back, I'm like, oh, you were stupid. But I can understand at the same time, And that's how I felt about this girl in this pink shirt that ran over this man. It was not a good choice, but I understand, And basically, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what happened. Voldemort, when my father died, I don't know what happened, but my father passed away. And Voldemort, I don't know if he heard about him passing away or he just so happened to call at that time. I don't know what it was, but he hit me up in one of the ways that he wasn't blocked, which I can't remember what it was at this point. And he sent me a message, and he said something, and then of course in normal fashion we started to argue. And one of the things I said something about losing my father, and he said something to the effect of, you never had him in the first place, and I don't even know why you care. He says some real cruel things just to be cruel, because that's what Voldemort does. He says cruel things to be cruel, just to hurt me. And then I snap. and then I come back, and then we go back and forth. And this one particular day, I decided that it was time for me to kill him. I decided that he was a blemish on society. He offered nothing to anyone of value. His own child was probably going to be better off without him, in my mind. And I was just angry, hurt, and sick of him. And I guess probably pretty much like that girl in the pink shirt. So I found out from a friend what kind of car he was driving, because he had changed cars. And I got a butcher knife, and I sent my daughter away for the weekend. She spent the weekends with her father. And I put on all black and put my butcher knife in my pants and decided that I was going to drive to his job. And when he got out his car to go to work, because he parked in the same spaces every day, he got to work around the same time every day. So I was just going to wait in the parking lot and kill him. And I had decided that I was going to just do my time. I was just going to turn myself in. Well, I probably was going to run. I had plans to run, but I knew I was going to get caught, because I kept thinking to myself, you ain't getting away with this. Forensics is too good nowadays. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. And I made the decision, knowing the consequences. I made the decision that I was going to go and stab him in his heart, the same way he kept stabbing me in mine. So I walked down the steps. I got to the front door. And when I got to the front door, like something. I don't know how to describe this because I've never felt it before or since, but I felt like something grabbed me, but it wasn't hands. It was like air grabbed me, and I just like stopped, and I'm trying to push myself forward because the door is right there, and I'm like, I'm gonna grab this doorknob and go out this door. And I felt something grab me, and I could just hear Goddess. I could hear her like, put down the knife. Put down the knife and go upstairs. And I could just hear it in my head like loud. Put down the knife and go upstairs. Do not do this. And I was like, fuck that. And I said that. I was like, fuck that. He needs to go. He's a blemish on society. He don't do nothing of value for anyone. He's not doing anything but destroying people's lives. And God has said to me, that is not your decision to make. Put down the knife and go upstairs. And I still felt the air, and I was still trying to push past it. And she just kept talking, and I kept listening, and she was like, go upstairs, put down the knife. And she was like, it's not worth it. And I started to think about my daughter and her growing up without me. At that point, she wasn't even that old. And I was like, her growing up without me. And I thought about me, losing everything and having to either die in jail or, live my life in jail. And I just started to think, do you really want to give up your life for his? And the more I thought, the more she talked, and I just kept listening. And then I took the knife and put it down. And I was crying. Oh, I was crying. I wanted to kill him so bad, y'all. I swear to you. And even after that, I kept thinking, like, I should have killed his ass. Every time he did something to me, every time he did something to somebody else, and I heard about it, I was like, I should have killed his ass. But now, I'm so grateful that I didn't do that. I'm so grateful. And I felt so bad for that girl in that pink shirt, because even though it's him that's dead on the ground, both of their lives are gone. He's dead, I think. I'm not sure. He might have passed over. And even if he didn't pass over, she got arrested. So she, a chunk of your life, if not your whole life, is gone now. All because you was messing with some dude that wasn't worth you. All because some man boy decided to play with your feelings. And instead of leaving him, instead of walking away from him, instead of finding somebody else, you gave him 18 years of your life. So now you've given him 18 years, and if he lives, you're going to be in jail for God knows how many years more. And if he doesn't live, you're probably going to be in jail for the rest of your life. So it was like, when I watched that video, I was like, that was almost you, dog. That was almost you right there with them handcuffs on and that jumpsuit behind some dude that wasn't worth your time in the first place. So the reason why I said they were both wrong is because, like God has told me, that wasn't her choice to make. It wasn't her choice to decide if he deserved to live or not. Her choice was to walk away from him and live her life. 18 years ago, she should have made that choice. And his fuck up was playing with somebody's life and their heart and their emotions. So the only thing I can say to you guys out there who might be going through this or know somebody that's going through this, number one, if you know somebody who's getting played with, please encourage them to seek therapy, because the only time you engage in toxic relationships like that is when something is wrong in here. A healed person is not going to continue to let that go on. They're going to escape, especially not 18 years. They're going to get away from that. That's number one. So if you know somebody who's in that situation, encourage her or him to walk away. Number one, get a therapist, because you're going to need some help. And that's how I got away from Voldemort. I went to therapy. And my therapist and my best friend and my elders, because at that time I was doing priestess training, you know, all of the stuff I was learning from spirit and from, you know, what I was reading, that is what helped me get away from Voldemort. So if you know somebody in this situation, encourage them to get away. Now, I know that's not going to be simple, and in some cases, they're not going to listen to you. But encourage it every time you have a chance to. And on the flip of that, if you're a person who's playing with somebody's heart, playing with somebody's feelings, please don't do that. I know that sounds so juvenile, but please, please don't do that. If you don't care about that person, just leave them alone and find somebody who wants to play your game, because there are people who want what you want. If you want open relationships, if you want, you know, not to be monogamous, whatever you're into, is people out there that want to play that game too. Don't get with somebody and play with their heart and play with their feelings and treat them cruelly because you're fucked up. That's all I really can say to you. Please do not treat another person like that. Let them go. Find somebody else. Let them be with somebody else. You know, obviously, y'all not compatible. Move on. Now, I can't say that's what happened in this situation because I don't know these two people. And she could have, I mean, she was snapping and she said what she said, but he's on the ground silent. So we don't know his side of the story, you know? But if this is the case from the facts that we have right now, all we can deal with is the facts we have right now. I hate when people come into the comment section and try to make shit up. Let's just deal with what we have. Okay, this is what we got. Right now, these are the facts that we have. He on the ground, she said what she said and got arrested after she done hit the poor guy. So, like I said before, even if he did what she said he did, taking his life is not the answer. It's just not the answer, because it doesn't just take his life, it takes yours, and it takes you away from your children and away from your family. In the future, whatever you were going to give this world, you guys would have never known me. If I had killed Voldemort that day, you guys would have never heard of Queen auset-heru, because I'd be in jail. I'd be in jail or got electrocuted by now, one of the two. You never would have heard of me. I never would have done this channel. I never would have met some of the people I did. I never would have traveled the world with my daughter. This has been a wonderful time in my life. I never would have had any of the wonderful things that came to me because I made a bad, awful decision, irreversible decision. So thank God that Goddess was able, I heard her. You know, I heard her and I listened to her like I always do. And I took myself upstairs and I cried and cried and cried. And Voldemort doesn't even know. He doesn't even know I almost killed him that day. Nobody does until now. Now you all know. And all I'm going to say is that if you find yourself in that situation, please don't do anything that's going to ruin your life. And don't make a judgment call about somebody else's existence. Karma will take care of all that. I watched Voldemort go through everything he deserved. Everything. Everything he did to other people, I watched happen to him. I watched him fight through those hardships. So Karma did her job. She got him. Karma didn't need my help. Karma didn't need the girl in the pink shirt's help either, if that was definitely the case. Because remember, this is all alleged, because this man can't tell us. But as angry as she was, and the fact that she stood there, y'all, she didn't even run. She stood there. When the cops pulled up, she didn't even run. So that's how you know that she had made a mistake. Not a mistake. She made a choice. And she knew what the consequences was, and she was willing to face them. So that's my story, people. Thank God I did the right thing, and I'm sitting here to tell you this tale. And it is what it is. So let's talk about the positive comments. Yasmin Gonzalez left me a comment. She said, "Wow, Queen, you got me. I felt that. I've been sabotaging my dates when things start to get serious. And you're right. We just don't want to get hurt again. So it's easier to leave than to confront our fears." I would suggest therapy. If you feel like that, that's a very, very legitimate feeling, and I would suggest therapy, because you have to work through the old hurt before you can move forward. Thank you so much for your comment. Miss Bridges said, "I agree with everything you said, Queen. I am like that at work. There are people I just don't deal with." Look, we Aquarius. We ain't dealing with you if you acting simple. Next. That's the bottom line. You know, we're not dealing with it. All right, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.